We'll talk some Mavericks basketball here on any given Thursday. It's Chase Sr. and Harrison Graham. And Chase, it's been kind of a funky 5-3 start to this Mavericks season. Got beat pretty good by the Miami Heat a couple of nights ago, but then rallied back to beat the Spurs.
Everybody's been getting thumped by the Heat.
By a second night of a back-to-back. Yeah. And yes, we will talk about Kristaps Porzingis in a moment, but how about the Brunson burner, as I'm starting to call him here?
Nice.
Holy smokes, JB is having a hell of a start to this year. We'll take a look at his game last night in a moment, Chase, but I know you loved him at Villanova. He's kind of breaking out this year. He's having a really good start to his fourth-year campaign.
I'm a Philly area guy, and I grew up rooting for all Philadelphia college basketball teams. I went to Temple University, but I grew up a diehard Villanova fan, so I was really invested into this team when they were making consistent runs in the NCAA tournament. Then, of course, those 2 national championships in 3 years really, to me, truly made them a blue blood, and Jalen Brunson was a part of that. You take a look at what he did last night. Now, I'm not saying that Jalen Brunson is going to be this night in and night out, but he certainly has the talent level to have these games from time to time. And the Mavericks are in desperate need of another guard on that roster, just taking some pressure off of Luka Doncic. But he goes up against a Spurs team and drops 31, 10, 9 of 17 from the floor, 12 of 15 from the free throw line. I think the development of him getting to the free throw line is something really important, something to monitor, because, again, that takes pressure off of Luka Doncic, whose usage rate over the last couple of years has been astronomically high.
Look, the Brunson burner has been activated. He's been put in the starting lineup the last couple of games with Luka, kind of take some of that playmaking off, like you said there, Chase. Jason Kidd acknowledged, look, this is something we may have to consider to do with how effective he has been as a starter. Why has he been starting? Well, they've been looking for different number 5 starters with Kristaps Porzingis sideline. Again, we're going to talk about him momentarily as well. But Brunson has been cooking his last 2 games especially. He's been absolutely fantastic. 31 points led the team against a good Spurs defense year in and year out. So that was very, very impressive.
Yeah, and you just go back to Jalen Brunson in high school. You take a look at what he did in Villanova, winning those 2 national championships. He was the National Player of the Year. And the qualities that he brings the organization and this roster with the Dallas Mavericks, he's just a winning player. And I think it's a matter of time before they offer him a contract extension, because you want to have players like this on your roster. Honestly, the pro comp for me for Jalen Brunson, he's got a lot of Goran Dragic in his game. And Mavs fans have been so into the thought of pairing up the fellow Slovenians and Dragic as well as Luka Doncic. I'm just not sure I want to take away from the good play and the emergence and the growth of Jalen Brunson and kind of stunt some of that growth by either trading him away for a short-term player like Dragic or his minutes getting diminished by a guy like Dragic.
The challenge the Mavs are going to run into is if you're going to start Brunson, then your bench really takes a hit. Because you don't have a true bench playmaker, because Reggie Bullock's a nice piece. He's not creating offense, though. Sterling Brown hasn't done much for this team early on this year. Trey Burke can occasionally get going, be a flamethrower type off the bench, but he's been in health and safety protocols as of late as well. You need a bench playmaker. Now, maybe if Dragic gets bought out, he could be that bench guy. When we thought it would be Brunson, maybe it would be a Dragic, but I'm definitely not trading Brunson at this point. There's simply no way you can do that. The question is he the second best player on this team?
Not necessarily a good thing either.
First
we compliment him, but you don't want to be in the second best guy.
No, you want him to be like your 4th or 5th best player on your team. Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm not ready to say that he is the second best player, but I'm curious what you guys think. Let us know down in the comment section. This will be the pinned comment, so if you get hit with the YouTube ad break, give me a Y or give me an N. I will say this. You're going to have to give him the bag. Like, Jalen Brunson is going to get a big contract. It will be over $10 million per year. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Now, you can't extend him during the season. They missed the deadline for that. He keeps playing like this. That cost is going up. There's no doubt about that. And with Dorian Finney-Smith also a free agent, you're probably going to have to pick and choose. And look, as much as I love Dodo and his defense, you got to value a guy who can go off for 30 on occasion, and that is what Jalen Brunson can do. He can play point guard. He can play 2. He can shoot from deep. He can get to the rack. He does a little bit of everything, and he's a good defensive guard as well. Jalen Brunson is making himself some money early on this season. Make sure you guys subscribe to our Mavericks channel, youtube.com/MavsTV. If you want free videos on the Dallas Mavericks, we are the channel for you. Hit that sub button if you're watching live on Chat Sports on Thursday. Go check us out over there, youtube.com/MavsTV, and we'll keep you guys up to date all season long. Let's go from a guy who's been cooking to a guy who's been sitting. That is Kristaps Porzingis.
Great
Chase.
segue, Harrison.
And
that's phenomenal
He
stuff.
missed his fifth straight game on Wednesday, dealing with lower back stiffness. Unclear if he'll play on Saturday against the Celtics. Heading into that game against the Spurs, all the chatter, oh, he looks good in walkthroughs, this and that. He should return. Well, we've heard that for about 3 games now, and now he's missed 5 straight. This is just the KP experience, unfortunately.
There's just always something going on with this guy.
Always.
And look, with professional athletes, sometimes they cannot control some of these injury issues. And it's really unfortunate because producer Marshall can attest to this, doing a great job producing today's show. Kristaps Porzingis, at the height of his time with the New York Knicks, was being talked about as a unicorn, a generational player. Then he suffers that knee injury, and really since then, everything has gone downhill.
1 step forward,
I was already out
3
on
steps
Kristaps
back.
Porzingis. I'm even more out on Kristaps Porzingis because it always seems to be something with this guy, whether it be injuries, whether it be his relationship with the face of the franchise and Luka Doncic. Now it's the stiff back. You know what is stiff? Kristaps Porzingis is just a stiff. I'm just out on this cat. I can't take him anymore. And it's unfortunate for Luka Doncic because he's in need of a second superstar to play alongside him. Kristaps Porzingis is being paid like that, but he's anything but that.
Yeah, and look, it's, I was semi-talked myself back into Kristaps this offseason, mostly because you didn't have a choice, right? They weren't going to trade him. The value wasn't going to be there. But now I just wonder, okay, lower back stiffness. I get it. He's 7'4". He's been a fragile player with injuries. You want to be safe. But, is something more going on? Lower back stiffness shouldn't keep you out for 2 weeks. I feel like there's almost something more. Is he frustrated again? Are they exploring a trade? I don't know. To me, if you're missing 2 weeks at a time with lower back stiffness, if that's going to be the case, Chase, this guy's never going to give you 60-plus games in a season because that's a minor thing. That should be okay, we'll sit him on the second night of a back-to-back. He's got a stiff back. It's been 2 weeks, dude.
And here's
he's
the
missed
thing,
5 games in a row.
A lot of the injury issues he's had are all below the waist, all lower body stuff. And if that's starting to creep up into now a back issue, it spells disaster for the Mavs because he's on the books for $30+ million over the next couple of years.
You can't. You're not going to get anything.
No.
Now, I think we've learned in the NBA, anybody can be traded. Anyone is tradable, but you're not going to get anything for him, and that's why you really can't trade him because you're still better off hoping that he gets healthy and he can play because anything you trade for him is just going to be role players at best. You're not going to get anything of value for Kristaps Porzingis. Now, just to clear the $30 million, that might be worth it in itself because then maybe you can go do something this offseason, but it's just, when you're 2-3 weeks into the year and you're already well, KP's out again, it's not fun. It's frustrating. If you're Luka Doncic, you're come on, dude. I need some help. Jalen Brunson ain't giving me 30 a night. I know that. So
think about this. He's put up identical numbers to LeBron through his first 3 seasons, and he's still frustrated. Luka has, of course. And he's still not getting enough help.
No, he's not.
I'd be frustrated,
and it's
too.
feeling very similar to LeBron in Cleveland, right? Where he's having to carry.
It's a good comparison as well.
Now, I think the Mavs have some good role players, and obviously we're not saying Luka is doing what LeBron was, but from a statistical standpoint, he actually is. It's just man, are we going to wake up in 5 years and Luka's been traded by then because he wanted out, and we're how did you waste this guy? I hope not.
Right.
But you can't ignore it as a possibility because I think 3 years from now, if it's more of the same and this is a first-round exit type of team, it's not going to keep a guy like Luka around. He's not going to be as loyal as Dirk. There's only one Dirk Nowitzki for a reason. So it's frustrating, but it's early on in the year, and the good thing is the Mavs are 5-3. They have found a way to win some games here. Should the Mavs trade Kristaps Porzingis? Type T for trade, type K for keep him. I think you have to keep him because I just don't know what you're going to get for him. Let us know what you guys think.